Hi there. My name is Ben. I am the customer success manager here at MessageDesk, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use MessageDesk as a team. MessageDesk is meant to be a shared team inbox, so having teammates in there with you is a pretty important part of it working to its maximum potential. So walking through here, there are a couple things that you'll notice right off the bat. You can see a bunch of profile pictures kind of popping up everywhere. And I'm going to take you through all of that a little bit later in the video. But first, what I'm going to take you through is how to add a teammate because team inbox wouldn't be much without other teammates. So you are only able to add teammates as an admin user. So if you are the admin user of the account, you can do it in a couple different ways. You can go to your settings down in the bottom left of your screen, or you can go up here to the top right to this create new users button. And you can decide which way you want to create a new user here. One of them is a manual action, which means that you're going to set their email and their password for them that's associated with their user. And then you would just email them and tell them, okay, hey, Kelly, here's your password, and your email is just your username. And then you may set their first name and their last name as well. So that's the way to manually create a user. You're basically going through the registration process for them. Another way is to just invite them by email. This is pretty standard, and all you have to do is enter in their email here, the role that you want them to hold, which basically corresponds to their permission level. And then once that's done, they'll just get a link in an email and they'll be able to go through the registration process as normal, and then they'll be added to your account. In here, I'm also able to see user information, what they have their first and last name listed as, and manage them appropriately by editing them, even sending them a password reset email. As an admin user, you can do quite a lot in here. Going back to the inbox, let's talk about some of the tools that help you manage conversations as a team. So if I click into Jim Halpert's conversation right here, I'm going to see a couple different things here. But basically, as you can see here in this conversations tab, you can see that this conversation is assigned to me. That's my profile picture right there. This conversation with Ben is assigned to Josh. And there are a couple different ways to assign conversations. One of them is when you're clicked into the conversation, you can see this profile picture right up here, and you can reassign. So if I want to change this conversation, Josh is going to end up taking care of it. He ended up sending a message down here. I'm going to reassign that conversation to Josh. So it's going to flip over to him. So what does assigning mean, basically? Assigning is a way of designating that a conversation is owned by someone. It's not theirs, but basically they're the one responsible for responding, and it's a way to indicate that, okay, Josh is going to take care of this one. So it's a great way to manage an inbox when you have multiple teammates in there at once, because I can be quite sure, especially going in here as myself, okay, I got to handle the Jim Halper conversation, and Josh is going to handle this conversation with Ben. So assigning can do a couple different things for notifications as well, depending what your settings are, and we'll go into that in a little bit. You may only receive notifications for conversations you are assigned to, and you can filter by conversations you're assigned to. So you can filter your inbox down to only the conversations that you're responsible for. So assigning has a couple different purposes and ways to use it. In the aspect of a conversation, when you are sending messages as a team, as you can see here, it's indicated that I sent this message by the profile picture right here. And I said, hey, Jim, this is your handyman, Josh. I'm not Josh, but we'll go along with it. I'm outside your house, but maybe at the wrong address. This is the greenhouse. And you can see that I sent that message there. As you can see down here, Josh sent this message. He said, what time do you want us to come by the house? So this is kind of separate from assignment. It really has nothing to do with it. But when Josh sends this message, it's no different than me sending the message from the perspective of your customer. So when your customer receives the message, they're not going to know that this message came from Josh or Ben. All they know is it came from Joe's Landscaping at 775-468-6256. So it's not going to appear any differently as a message. It's going to appear like it's coming from your business, not Ben or Josh. If you did want to indicate who it is coming from, you can always add maybe a little signature down here, and I can say it is coming from Ben. But otherwise, your customers aren't going to know that it's coming from anybody different. Moving along here, once you figured out how to assign conversations, and again, you can do so up here. And I forgot to mention that you can always select a conversation here and assign it to a teammate this way as well. So I'll reassign this to Josh. So that's another way to assign conversations. And as I mentioned before, another valuable part of assigning conversations out is being able to filter by them. So if I go up here, I can click my filter button, and then I can go ahead and start to filter my conversations. So there are 3 different categories here. Newest to oldest, pretty simple, or oldest to newest. It's a pretty simple one. It's just the time that the last message was either sent or received in the conversation. So an older message or a newer message, you can order them that way. Status. We mentioned this in an earlier video in the Learning Center if you want to go check it out. Status, we have new, waiting, reply. New means it's unread and they're waiting for a reply. Waiting means that the message has been read, but they have not been replied to yet. And replied is pretty obvious. It means that you sent a message to them and you're waiting for a reply back. And then the assigned section down here. This is a really valuable one for the team inbox because down here I can go, I want to sort my conversations by the oldest one appearing up top. And then I want to also see all of my replied conversations that belong to Josh specifically. And then I can apply those filters and then I can see all the conversations that fit my filter. If I want to clear those, I can just press the clear button here and my conversations pop back to normal. Additionally, I can also filter by everybody. So conversations that are assigned to everyone or just ones that are unassigned. So ones that don't have a person necessarily designated to reply to them or receive notifications for them. So that kind of goes over the filtering of conversations and how you can use teammate assignment to do so. Let me go ahead and venture into the settings here. There are some valuable settings that you can use in MessageDesk, especially or that relate very closely to teammate assignment. So let me move myself back down here. So there are a couple here. They're called your Workspace settings. Only the admin user will be able to set these, but there are 2 that I want to call out specifically here. One of them is conversation assignment, pretty obvious. This is a setting that when enabled, it'll automatically assign conversations that are, unassigned to the user who sent the message. So for example, since it's enabled, if I go into the inbox and I go to Drew Breeze here and I go, hey there, we're going to send the message. And then as you can see, that message ended up getting assigned to me because I sent the message to him and it was an unassigned conversation. So anytime I engage with him and it's already unassigned, it's going to end up assigning it to me. So that setting can be super, super useful for making sure that every conversation gets assigned, whether it's unassigned at first or not. Another very useful setting that relates to conversation assignment is unassigned conversation on close. So that's enabled right now. So basically what happens is I am able to click a conversation here. Let's say it's Jim Halpert, and I'm able to close the conversation. Another word for that may be archive the conversation. It's not deleting. And then I can go into my closed conversations here, and I can see that that conversation was unassigned. So with that, it means that the next time Jim texts in, it's going to be an unassigned conversation. It's going to show up here with no one necessarily assigned to it. And it'll look pretty much just like this. And then if I want to go back in there, and let's say he texts us again, and then I respond for the second time, it's going to reassign this conversation to me here. So as you can see, it ended up reassigning this conversation to me. So those are the two settings that I would recommend playing around with, or at least considering using. That way your inbox and your team is functioning in the way that you would like them to in the MessageDesk inbox. If you have any questions or need any assistance, you can always press the help button down here in the bottom left, and we'd be happy to start a conversation with you and get you the help that you need. Thank you so much.